but you looking out in the sea, it's like thousands and thousands of people, and they out there, and you think they armed. You know, it ain't no question about it. Let's not tiptoe around that. They was armed. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them were. So I'm ready, but I don't know who I'm aiming at. I don't know. Right. So you don't know, because that's what we say. Why did you just shoot him? Which one? You know, which one? Who? Okay, point to me the one that I need to shoot, because I do not know which one I need to shoot right now, because it's thousands of them.
What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg. Join my co-host, Buff and Rozzy, and we're bringing to you a special episode. We have the Three Brothers' first interview, I guess. That's what we call it. So stay tuned. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for you guys to hear what this young brother, Harry Dunn, has to say. Co-worker with Byron here at the Capital City Police, and Byron to give you a little more details on it. So I don't want to spoil all the thunder, take all his thunder. But fellas, what's going on in your world?
Well, as you spoke with Harry Dunn, so he's already sat down and done an interview with ABC News. And so as you listen to this episode today on Monday, he will also be on Soul of a Nation tomorrow night, 10/9 Central Time on ABC. So check that out. But check him out here first on Three Brothers No Sense. So we're very proud of that, man. But I forget about me, Ferg. How are you, man? You're in Texas. The weather was extremely bad. Y'all have terrible leadership on the state, local, and federal level. So how are you, bro? How is everything at the household?
Man, I'm just making it, man. I'm happy to be here. You know, those last few weeks were just challenging. You know, what was crazy about it is the way they prepped us for it. You know, growing up on the Gulf Coast, it reminded me of those hurricane warnings we always got that was supposed to be the end of times. Yeah. You know, prep, get ready. Here comes a category 17 hurricane coming. And you're like, okay. And the day you prepare for it, it's showers. But I have a family, so I try to be responsible. And most people I know did the same thing. They went and got groceries. They prepared to be stuck in the house for a few days. Then we started getting text messages saying, hey, we're going to have rolling blackouts for 15 minutes, anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour, which is okay. Bought food, bought groceries. We were good to go. Little did we know that my power would go out on Sunday around 2 p.m. and not come back on until Thursday. And I think we had, maybe 5 hours, 6 hours of power in between that time period. You know, we checked into a hotel because they told us it was going to be out for the day. Should we get back on by Tuesday? That didn't happen. The hotels were booked. Couldn't find another hotel room. Hotels didn't have power. Hotels didn't have water. It was just, hotels were just as bad as people's homes. So there was no real relief. That. Yeah, there was no real relief. Like I knew people who were in our one of our COVID couples, Al and Asia, they checked into a hotel maybe 2 hours behind us and the power went out 2 hours later. Oh. And then we have another couple, they were in the hotel for a day and a half. Then the power was on, but they had no water. So imagine being in a big ass hotel with no water. You can't flush. You got a family of 5 in a hotel room. They just like, we might as well be at home. So hotels were booked, dude. I'm talking. I drove around. I called around. I could even make reservations. And then you call in because the phones are ringing off the hook. And they're like, yeah, we got rooms. We don't have power. Or my favorite was they had power, they had water, but because the weather was so bad, the cleaning staff couldn't make it to the hotel to flip the rooms. So they got empty rooms, power and water, but they don't have anybody to clean them. So you have a reservation for a hotel, but you can't get in the room because it's dirty. So that was our world. And, everything in our refrigerator pretty much went bad.
So Sky didn't suggest that y'all go to Cancun?
No. She
Okay.
she decided to stick it out.
Apparently, that's what some kids were doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's for the kids though. It's for the kids.
But then that Ted Cruz thing. I mean, there's no way around it. How do you think? Just the optics of that. Just what? Let's just go to Cancun.
Because
not even secretly, like, hey, baby, text Buff and Rozzy and see if they trying to go with us. Dude, it's just
yo. I will say though, their like group chat is trash because I'm gonna tell you, if I ever sneak away and go to Cancun, and ditch my job and go to Cancun, I don't need y'all leaking that to the media and stuff. So their friend circle, like that shows how much of an asshole Ted Cruz is that his own friends would rat him out to the media about going to Cancun.
They need that Chadwick Boseman crew.
Yeah,
they need that. But dude, it was just crazy. And then just by Thursday, I was drained. Still trying to work because I work directly with hospitals and they don't stop. Their needs don't stop. And I knew I was taking some time off because I traveled to Mobile this past weekend. This past week to spend time with my dad. I don't know if everyone knows he suffered a stroke in middle of January. So I went home to spend time with him. He got out of the hospital last Thursday and I was just drained, By the time I came back to Houston, I think Wednesday night, I got back about midnight Wednesday night. Well, I was drained, seeing somebody you love and admire, not to see the same version of themselves, So that was my first role model, and just to see him not being able to move around or have that same vibrant energy that I grew up around and grew up with. So that was mentally, physically, emotionally draining, coupled with the week before. I need a vacation. That's all I got to say. I just need a vacation. But, the toughest thing was just with the kids, with no power, no internet, no heat. It was, I was talking to Sky the other day and she was just telling how she was scared at night because it was cold, dark. And I mean, it's dark everywhere. So it's not like it's just dark in our house. The whole neighborhood was dark. And she, being scared to walk off to go to the restroom by herself. Candles only can do so much because that it's one thing to be dark. It's another thing to be cold and dark. So that was my 2-week wrap up, man. What's going on with you guys?
We're just happy that everybody's safe, man. Y'all are good. You got through the couple of weeks and anything we can do to help, man, we're there. I just want to talk through the whole, like Byron talked about local officials, statewide. They're folks, when we talk about voting and everybody, the hoteps out there, the world talking about, oh, your vote doesn't matter. And then, everybody's the Republicans and Democrats are as bad as the Republicans and stuff like that. Things like this, is what shows you that they are not the same. They are not the same at all. The reason why you didn't have power for 4 days is because Texas decided that they didn't want to be on a national grid. There's literally 3 grids in America. It's an East Coast grid, a West Coast grid, and a Texas grid. And the reason why they couldn't get power from everybody else's grid is they wanted to stay on their own grid to avoid regulations. And the reason why they have the regulations is so that things like this don't happen. So this whole idea of deregulating, not wanting to have personal or always talk about personal accountability and not worrying about the whole is the Republican mantra. But that's what this leads to. The whole emissions, carbon emissions, watershed, all your regulations, because we want to worry about what society wants from a Democratic platform. The Republicans are like, nope, doesn't matter. They just want to be able to pollute, do whatever they want, as long as it's good for them right now. They have a very, very short-sighted platform. And so, yeah, it might help you right now. It might help, a higher earner right now. But even in the long run, that high earner is going to, be stuck holding the bag. But they just don't care because they're just really short-sighted. So folks, go out, vote, really look at these policies, really understand that society as a whole, government is society. Government is supposed to make sure that society is taken care of, not you individually. And that is a big difference of a lens that you got to look through when you're going to vote. Oh, and I guess I can talk about my week.
Yeah, and I just want people to realize how big it was. We're talking about nearly 3 million Texans that went without power.
Yeah.
You know, that's the size of some states. You know, just like 300. Oh, excuse me, households. 2.7 million households. So that's even when you look at that. We're not just talking about individuals. We're talking. I have one household. It's 4 people in the household.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just crazy.
Tens of millions easily.
Yeah, but to me, the only funny thing was Mayor Sylvester Turner. He pulled his black card out and he was on some like, look, this shit ain't on me. Like it reminded me of that episode of Chappelle where Chappelle was talking about black president and he was trying to say, I'm not falling for this. That's how it felt like. Sylvester Turner's like, no, this isn't me. This is ERCOT. Like, reach out to them. He's leading he's one of the main people who's going after them to see what kind of legal ramifications we have, because it was just sad, you know, how this all went down. And we, like you said, we can get support from anywhere else because of legislation. So,
yep. Only thing I really got is Tom and Jerry movie dropped, and Ollie loved it. It's perfect Tom and Jerry slapstick hijinks. They did a really, really good job of doing the animation on top of live action and you know, like interacting with each other. It was really good. It didn't feel out of place, even though the animation was kind of superimposed on top of the live action. So it was really good. And the soundtrack is banging. I mean, when I say banging, it's like banging.
So you're telling me the Tom and Jerry soundtrack is banging?
yeah. I'm telling you, it's got like Tribe Called Quest in there. Rick Ross is in there. Like it's set in New York.
Rick Ross has a Tom and Jerry song, or it was just a regular Rick Ross song?
It was like just a regular Rick Ross song that he threw on the end. Like, so
come get this Tom and Jerry money.
You know? Yeah,
because he would like, I'm about to get this here Tom and Jerry money. Yeah.
So, but man, it was fun. It was really good. And I don't know if we talked about Judas and the Black Messiah, because I think it dropped last week and we didn't have a show. So
it dropped on the 12th.
That's the other one, man. Judas and the Black Messiah. If you don't know about Fred Hampton, the Black Panther organization in Chicago and what happened there, take a look at that movie. Make sure you're ready to be mad at the end of it. But, you know, at the same time, it's a really, really good look at, what is it called? COINTELPRO. Yeah, COINTELPRO. Like that whole thing, as well as just making sure that you check who's in your circle, man. Like folks come in and you think they're good and they're on your side and they may be believing in what you're saying, but at the same time, they're, checking for somebody else too. So just make sure you know who's in your circle.
I've only found one other person that agrees with me when I say, I think I'm in the minority as far as people that have empathy for O'Neal. And because I see a lot of comments on social media, you know, calling him this sellout, snitch, and all that good stuff, and what they would have did and how tough they are. I just want everybody to remember, man, that dude was 17 when he got approached by the FBI. So, I mean, maybe you would have stood tall, but I'm just saying that is a lot of pressure on a young man at that time. So, yeah, you know, I it's easy to call him the name, and let's make no mistake about it. He did. I mean, what he did was f***ed up. But I'm not here to say what I would have did or wouldn't have did and how tough I am, because you just don't know until you're in that situation.
Yeah, especially when you're with, like, not just the FBI, but these are folks that are trained in developing assets. Like, that is a skill in itself. Like, O'Neal even talked about it in the interview where he was talking about how, like, you know, he looked up to, I can't remember the FBI agent's name, but like he looked up to him like a father. Yeah, like, you know, he had him over the house and he was cooking, you know, they were going to barbecues and stuff like that. Like, that's a huge deal for somebody, like you said, 17 years old, been out on their own for a long, long time, got a long rap sheet, know they might be going to jail for a long time because he was impersonating a federal officer. And he's like, oh, all I got to do is just feed you some information here and there. But then at the same time, I still can kind of be involved. Like, you got to understand, he is the reason why they rebuilt, and he was like one of the driving forces for rebuilding after the first bombing or burning down of the location. So like he did a whole lot of good too on there while he was doing all the snitching. So like it was a dichotomy there. I mean, I'm sure he was torn, which is probably why he ended up committing suicide.
Right. He was not comfortable with it. And while we're talking about him, again, super impressed by Fred Hampton. Like the age that he was to do the things that he did and was trying to do, that is impressive. Like I'm gonna definitely do my best to learn even more about him because I'm thoroughly impressed in the things that he did at such a young age, man.
Yeah.
Man, great movie. I'm glad you guys brought that up. Actually, as we're re-recording this Sunday, I'm getting ready to, in the next few hours, take my Lamplighters. We rented out a theater to go see Judas and the Black Messiah. I had to watch it first just to make sure it was kosher for them to see, but plus I didn't want to wait, and I'm not going to even lie. I just wanted to see it. I was excited about the movie, and it definitely was impressive.
F them kids.
It was impressive. The acting was great. I mean, you really felt it. Even, you were talking about O'Neal, Lakeith, what's his name? Lakeith
Stanfield.
Yes, he's released several interviews and articles where he discussed him having to go to therapy after this because it put him in a certain mindset. Like it was tough for him. So if it put an actor in a mindset, you can imagine what it put a 17-year-old young Black male who has limited, limited options, limited resources, who's really caught up with the FBI. I mean, it's crazy, but I hate to switch the subject like this, but I want to backtrack. A few months ago, we had an episode where we talked about this young lady, this teacher, I think in DC, who was fired from her job because of her OnlyFans page. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I stand by what I was saying. When you're in a certain role, I have certain expectations. But the most recent one, have you heard about this mother? She has 3 kids. They were going to a Catholic school in California, and because of her OnlyFans page, they kicked her students out. Her children out.
Her kids, yeah. They won't let her kids go to the school, yeah.
Now, she was making supposedly making $150,000 a month doing OnlyFans. And on this one,
she got to be bad. I ain't seen her.
On this one, let me see. On this one, I changed my stance on her because she's a private citizen. She's not in a situation where she should be teaching, or she's teaching or responsible for kids. And the fact that the school took those measures, and it's very interesting to see. I don't know if that's in the code of conduct or, in the school handbook, like thou parents should not be on OnlyFans. I don't know how that's even legal, or the school has a right to kick kids out when they want to. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some legal ramifications coming down for that. But it was just very interesting to see this OnlyFans as the impact it's having on people's lives, And the thing about it is the lady's husband is filming and taking pictures of her for her OnlyFans. So he's definitely with it because, once again, $150,000 a month really changes my views on, how much support I'm giving in that situation. We're talking about $1.8 million.
Would you let your lady have a OnlyFans for $1.8 million a year?
If she ain't
just
naked,
a random question.
If she ain't naked, like, is she showing a little skin? Yeah.
Or if you're in the video too, like, because OnlyFans can get like really, really like on that level. So
no. Nah.
1.8 million? Buff? No?
Nah. 1.8 million though.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
As long as you're comfortable, baby. I just want to make sure you're comfortable in this situation.
You can have a spinoff page. Oh man, but my bad. I didn't want to take us there, but it was just very interesting because that's kind of what came to my mind. It's like $150,000. Would you be taking pictures of your wife too, just to not $150K a year? Yeah. You know, we're talking about a month.
Yeah, but it's sad though that the school can do that. So the thing is, there may be legal, like a lawsuit, but it more than likely the church, because it's a religious organization, can pick and choose who they let in the school, and they can kick the kids out based on the parents' views. Like there are some Catholic schools that if they find out the parent had an abortion, they will not let the other kids come to the school. They would not let the kids come to school.
Okay.
So like it's one of those things, that whole separation of church and state. Churches get to do a lot of things that really aren't on the up and up. If you think about it in a private setting, just because they're a religious organization.
And let me be absolutely clear. I'm not saying I feel sorry for them by any means. Just perfectly clear.
They can go to another private school. I think they'll be okay.
You can homeschool. In between photo shoots, homeschool. I'm just saying, send the kids to public school, whatever. But let's jump into it, man. I'm excited about this interview. I want you guys to hear it. It's about that time. Sophie there for a joke, or?
Yeah, let me go grab her real quick.
Yay.
What's going on, Miss Sophie?
Nothing. I got a good joke. I'm going to tell you the joke. So, my auntie didn't have a car, but she got her tax returns. Now T-Mobile. I don't even know what those are.
Rozzy cracking up.
Daddy came up with it because I don't even know what those are.
I can tell by how much he's laughing. So as we said at the top of the show, we're doing things a little different today on Three Brothers. We have a guest. We've had guests before, but we've never had a guest that we just strictly interviewed. And so we got my man, Officer Dunn, on here. You may have seen his interview on ABC News. He actually was quoted during the impeachment trial by some of the House members, where Mr. Raskin said afterwards, overwhelmed by emotion, he broke down in the rotunda and he cried for 15 minutes. And he shouted out, "I got called an N-word 15 times today." And then he recorded, "I sat down with one of my buddies, another black guy, in tears just started streaming down my face. And I said, what the man? Is this America?" That was Mr. Raskin, one of the House impeachment managers during the impeachment trial last month. And he quoted my man here that's right here with us, Harry Dunn. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, B? Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks a lot. So thanks for having me.
It means a lot. So we actually did an episode right after the racist riot, Vanilla Isis, as I like to call it, Mayonnaise Mayhem. And I let these two brothers, they ask me questions, man. And the listeners have heard from me before. I want them to hear from you, especially since you're in the history books, man. You're literally quoted in an impeachment trial. Just the fourth impeachment trial ever in America? Yeah. So you in the history books, man. So I'm going to sit back. I'm going to let Rozzy and Ferg ask what they have, and I'll add any input if need be. But take it away, fellas.
Well, first of all, how are you doing, by the way, Harry Sneakerhead Dunn?
No, I'm doing all right, man. All this stuff, people joke, they'll be like, "Yo, Harry, all this stuff people coming out of nowhere and just they're gonna be digging up stuff on you and all this stuff." And I didn't even care about all that. I just cared about speaking for folks that wasn't speaking for whatever reason, but I know they had a story to tell because we talked about it. But I say all that to say I'm doing well because talking about it on my terms has been therapeutic on my terms. You know, like when people, you know, come up to you and just want to start talking, like, all right, yo, chill. Like, you don't even warm up to you. How did it feel? Like, yo, chill, man. Like, you know, let me talk about it when I'm ready. So talking about it is therapeutic for me. So I'm doing well.
It's funny you say that because the three of us have had various situations in our lives. For one, growing up Black in America, as a Black man in America, you know, there's a such I forgot what the PTSD. We talked about it last show, you know, and how do you just deal with that? I mean, you're already in a situation where you have to play the game for, I guess, in short. But now, I guess the veil has been lifted. You kind of spoke your true thoughts, and now people, it's hard to go behind that mask. You know, have you seen any?
You know, so I think that what makes this, I don't like to say easy because it ain't easy, but I think I'll just say it just makes it easier. Let's go with that. Easier for me is that I've always been somebody who owns every word he said. Every single thing I say, I own it. I don't tap dance around it. And I'm humble enough that if I'm wrong or proven wrong, then I'm saying, I'm sorry, I didn't see it, I didn't know. And I have no problem owning everything I've ever said. So I don't necessarily play the game. Like if somebody says something, I'm like, nah, that's not right. You know, that whole thing like that, I swear I love that the whole John Lewis thing, if you see something's wrong, you got to say something. And that's always been I always feel that way. If it's wrong, period, it's wrong. No matter what repercussions, because it was one of these quotes, I think Nelson Mandela, something, we had to correct me on it, but it said that playing neutral or remaining silent only helps the oppressor. You know, it's something to that extent. It was a quote like that, but
yeah, I think MLK said something similar to
maybe, but nah, man, speak up. If it's wrong, it's wrong. That's and I think that's what makes it easy on me. It's like I just say if it's wrong, and this is my opinion, it's wrong. And I tell you why. I don't deflect. You just got to speak up. You know, people need to have honest conversations, and people aren't ready to have them. Just because nobody else is ready to have it doesn't mean I'm going to stop having them. So,
yeah, I saw like a lot of folks didn't know how bad it actually was there. Like it looked tame from how the media was portraying it. But then when we got into the impeachment trial and we saw the videos and how officers were like being overwhelmed and running and calling for help and trying to get help. Kind of walk us through kind of your mindset while you were like going through it. I watched the ABC special and the interview on that, and you did a really good job of kind of bridging that gap of what was going on and what you were feeling at the same time. So kind of talk to our listeners about that.
So we knew what it was like, you know, like all of us officers, like I said this in one of the interviews, like everybody was saying, oh my gosh, you know, it's new unreleased footage or whatever. But nah, it wasn't unreleased. Like, well, maybe the media, we knew what was going on. Like we still playing that in our heads, man. Like we saw what it was like being 2 or 3 of us surrounded by 40 people or whatever. Like, I think what did she say? 800 people entered the building. I think it was 800. I think she said that in her testimony or something like that. Yeah. But I think it was 800 people. It seemed like more than that because they were everywhere. It was everywhere. And it was just a sense of overwhelming. I was scared. I was scared, bro. Like, but you can't be scared in the middle of that adversity, I guess, because then you ain't gonna be able to do your job, and it's gonna keep on going, and they're gonna win. Like it was literally fighting for your life. Like I only thought I was gonna get killed at one particular time. Other times it was just like, all right, they can't win though. I'm not gonna die right now, but they're not gonna win. So, but it was one instance where I did think I was gonna die, but.
And stop right there.
Get shot. So yeah,
that's the PTSD I'm talking about. Like the fact that people are trying to downplay it. When you have to and I don't think most people have had that moment in their life where they thought that they were going to die. That's rare.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that you like, yeah, I thought I was going to die. Like it just moved on. Like that shit is not normal.
I've been lucky when you say PTSD. I want to clarify that a little bit because there's something called, and I learned this through my therapy, called PTS. The D comes like a pause, you know.
just in case Wayne listening, right?
Yeah. No, I'm serious. Like when PTSD is different because you just have PTS and the disorder part when you it's not causing me any disorders. I'm not losing sleep. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I have stress. I'm still thinking about it, but it's not causing me to have any type of disorders. So I don't think I have PTSD, but it could form. It could, but I definitely have PTS, which stress. Especially when you see all the coverage and everything like that. So, but yeah, like to go to your point, how many people everybody said, "Oh, I was going to die." I really thought about it. Like, yo, this could be it. Like.
Yeah. I remember I've told the story about me being in Afghanistan on that mission that Ferg told me not to go on anyway, but I went because I'm me. But where I had to draw down on the little kid, like it's an 11, 12-year-old kid, and I'm ready to like kill this kid because he's running up to me with something in his hand, and I don't know what it is. So I get what you're saying, and it is that thought of, oh my God, this might be my time. This really might be my time, and trying to make those split decisions, and you guys didn't draw, like you didn't, and because you didn't want to like gin up the crowd and everything, so you did better than me because like for me I was ready, like I was ready.
Specifically, actually, I guess what made my I'll talk about the specific instance where I thought I was. I had an M4. I had a rifle out that day, and when we responded around to the West Side, and you see we're on the inaugural platform, the stage where right where Biden took the oath. So I'm standing right there, and the stage is still under construction, so it's like holes in it, and so we're trying to find cover or whatever. So I got my rifle, and it's over the ledge. And I'm aimed in. I mean, I'm in condition 1, ready to rock. Like, what's about to happen? But you looking out in the sea, it's like thousands and thousands of people, and they out there, and you think they armed. It ain't no question about it. Let's not tiptoe around that. They was armed. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them were. So I'm ready, but I don't know who I'm aiming at. I don't know. Right. So you don't know because that's what we say. Why did you just shoot him? Which one? Which one? Who? Okay. Point to me the one that I need to shoot because I do not know which one I need to shoot right now because it's thousands of them. But I say all to say, I got my gun aimed in them, and I can't be looking at everybody. I'm sure they had a gun. They could have taken me out right there. And like I said, that's why I brought up my height because I'm this big, tall guy, and I'm out there with no cover, nothing, with a gun pointed at people that ready to storm the building. They're ready to take us out. So I'm at this moment, I was like, yo, this is a horrible situation to be in. Somebody probably got a gun pointed at me right now, and I don't even know it, So that was scary, bro.
And part of me thought during this whole time, because, I've known Byron since 92. So my thoughts and prayers were with him and the rest of you guys. But I'm like, everybody's like, they should shoot. And I'm like, you guys don't understand. That's what they're waiting for. The whole time, it's like all it takes is for one person to probably rightfully defend themselves and fire off a round. And now it's mayhem. It's chaos. It's, most people don't realize when you're the true minority in a situation. Like when we were in Afghanistan, there was way more of them than of us. They could have easily overrun if they would have, like that city wanted to make a example of us. They could have easily overran our defenses. And that's what I kept telling people, like, it's only so many of them. And we don't know who was armed, who was dangerous. And when it's one of you and 10 people, you might take out 2. You might get 3 or 4. But the chances of you getting everybody.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I think people keep downplaying. You don't even hear it. You don't even hear them talking about it anymore. It's like there was a terrorist attack on the U.S. Capitol, and now we're back to are we going to get this $2,000?
Yeah,
we moved on. So
yeah.
Hey, Dunn, I want to have you felt this, man, like I have at times, it's almost like you don't have a home, because a lot of my black friends were like, just to touch on what you brought up, like, why didn't y'all shoot them? Y'all should have shot all of them. So they're like, man, we didn't shoot them all. And then you got another group of people that are like excusing the behavior of the rioters. Like, man, you know, they was just there to protest. It was only a handful of them that got out of hand. It wasn't a big deal. And it's like, we were there. We feel the anger of them doing what they did. But then we're also trying to explain to people, you know, why we didn't just shoot a whole bunch of people all at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, B. No, I felt that at all. Actually, one of the worst. It's funny. My lawyer and the producers for the ABC special, whatever, say, yo, when we post this, stay off of Twitter. Don't look at the comments and all that stuff, because you know how folks is. The keyboard warriors. That's what they are. You know. Right. So one actually said, "Wow, an officer was scared for his life, and he didn't shoot nobody. Kudos to you, brother." You know, like, so it highlighted the hypocrisy of fear for my life kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't mind talking about this, because this is my personal opinion, but the whole fear for my life as a defense for deadly force is the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard in my life. And I'll tell you, and I'll just break it down why. Because the fear for my life, you're scared, all right? Fear is an emotion. So you're using an emotion to justify deadly force instead of actual reasonable facts. Now, yeah, that's just not alone, but the fact that that's included in the equation is embarrassing. Like, it should not be. Fear is an emotion. So you making life or death decisions based off an emotion. Like,
that's the main defense. It's not just even part of it's the main defense.
It's the main.
Like, it's well, I understand all the reasons he shouldn't have shot this person.
Yeah.
But he was scared. Let's not forget he was scared. It's like, in the Army, we had rules of engagement. Like, we literally can have people strapped with, they can have guns, they could have freaking RPGs, they could have bombs strapped to them. But until there is a reasonable, you're beyond reasonable doubt that you're in danger, you can't engage.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm like,
yeah, danger is different than fear. Danger is real. Danger is a real thing. Fear is just, like you said, it's an emotion. So it can be perceived differently by other people. Somebody else in the exact same situation probably wouldn't have been scared, or maybe even more scared than I was. That shouldn't be. The fact that it could be explained in so many different ways, like, it's, I hate the fact that that's a defense, like the defense for deadly force. But yeah, I go off on a tangent there.
No, you're good, man.
Loving it. I had one quick question. You know, the quote about you being called a nigga a dozen times, you know, that day and stuff like that. I just wanted to ask, was that like your first time being called a nigga on the job, or is that kind of, you know, I wouldn't say par for the course, but in these protests and before, not necessarily this riot, but normal protests, you know, the KKK has come up there. There's been other folks that have come up there. Have you been called a nigga before?
No, not on the job, and at least not to my face. I've had before, but like not on the job. You know what I mean? Yeah. Usually they see that the blue and they like you a little bit, you know, until they don't, you know, regardless of if they see me without the uniform, you know, I'm, you know, they call me whatever they want. But when I put the uniform on, they be like, okay, let's filter it a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I've experienced, but not at the job or whatever. And go back to the dozen times, like I ever say, you know, I can't really put a specific number on it, so I say dozens. But it was one instance by dozens of people. Yeah. And it was one instance that I got called it, but it was by multiple people. So that's what I want to say. It wasn't like all day I was getting called the N-word. Like, no. So, but there are other, I've talked to other brothers that have reached out to me, email, call, text, and said that they appreciate me sharing that, because they too have also had experiences that day where they got called the N-word. Three other brothers specifically spoke to me and said that their experiences of them being called the N-word that day. So,
yeah. Now, and you talked about when they usually when they see the blue, they give you the respect. But I saw in the special where you talked about, they were waving thin blue line flags and assaulting police officers. So
they hit with it.
Talk
They
us
hit
through that.
those flags. That's caught on. Everybody said, "Oh, where's the foot?" That was on TV. They showed that the MPD officers getting beat with a freaking flag, a thin blue line flag, like. And yet, even though it's on camera, people are like, well, dude, come on, man. What, huh? Mm-hmm. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. Like, they literally had Trump 2020 MAGA, and you had people saying those weren't Trump supporters. What? Like, make it make sense, yo.
We're hearing that rhetoric from elected officials that are saying that.
They were not Trump supporters, but they all got on Trump gear and flags and stuff. I don't understand. Are they in disguise? Are they disguised? Is that what it is?
So why else would they be there if they're not Trump supporters?
It's BS because some of those people were like caught months ago protesting for him as well. So they're like documented known Trump supporters. So it's just BS in a way to deflect.
I guess it goes back to where I was starting. How do you've been through this? There's going through the January 6th, and then the time between that and I guess I can't even say everybody was patriotic because you still had your defenders, but I feel like we saw a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, hey, there's no turning back now. Like the writing's on the wall. Like, this is what we've been talking about for the last 4 years. And then what is it? February 27th ain't changed. It's just, it's almost like a slap. To me, it's a slap in the face. And the fact that they are blatantly just sweeping stuff under the rug. How do you deal with that and still, function knowing that tomorrow or Monday, you still got to go back and these are the people who make these decisions and they kind of said, oh, well.
Man, I guess I'm optimist, whatever. One of them hopeful people, something's going to change. One day, okay, today's the day. Today's the day. Today's the day. Today's the year. This is the year. All right. This is the decade, yo. And then, you just keep on going.
Yeah.
But people laugh at them cheesy phrases all the time, like the whole thing, the Obama's hope thing. I mean, the hope is, hopefully that one day, do you just accept it as an inevitability that it's always going to be this way?
Hoteps do. Oh, let me stop.
I like going there with you. We got to touch you, man. But do you just accept it as an inevitability? I don't know. You just got to keep hoping. And not just hoping, you got to do something about it. What changes are you making? People that just sit back, this is America. It's always going to be this way. Does it have to be? Why does it always have to be this way, bro?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people want instant change. That's the problem. They want to wake up the next day, like you said, for February it's February 28th, and now so at this point everything should be fixed, and it doesn't work that way. Incremental growth and incremental change is change, and Van Jones I think was the one that said that what we're seeing is the dying breath of white supremacy. It's like this, it was a white lash when Trump was elected, and this riot is just one last thing that's opening a lot of people's eyes to what white supremacy is. And there are people that are turning it away. There are people in the GOP that's talking about creating a new conservative party because they don't agree with what's happening with this, because they do want to be a conservative that can be a big tent.
Yeah. And so I'm glad that you said that, because even if you look at, he did not get a convicted, but instead of 49, how many people voted? Only Romney voted the first time. You had 7 other people. Yeah, so that's change. Did you expect 50 people to change their mind? I'm not no math guy. What's the percentage of the 6% growth or 6 people growth out of 50? That's good. It's not what we want. Ultimately, what we want, but you're not gonna change everybody's mind. So that's a win. But you gotta take something positive out of it, and then maybe that's why that's what I do and how I keep trying to remain hopeful because you know what? Okay, Romney was the only one the first time, but you had 6 more people join him this time. Next time it may be 12. Next time it may be 100. Like, you know, Liz Cheney in the House voted to impeach him. Like, wow. Like, I mean, I'm glad that people are speaking up. It sucks on those circumstances, but that's how America's built, though, wasn't it? Like on wars and stuff. You keep on beating people up until you get enough people to agree with you. ain't that kind of how it goes?
Yeah. It's just how many times do we have to get punched in the mouth? Like, what else? My question always is like, what else do they need to see? Or people need to see? And that's always my question, because it's, you think about the last big events, even 2020, you know, certain videotapes that surfaced that highlighted white supremacy, and you're like, okay, this is it right here. They're rioting around the world. Nothing's happened since then. Oh, they stormed the Capitol? Okay, this is it right here. This has to be it right here. Yeah. No? So, like, what has to happen? So, but you're right, change is good. It's just, my question always to people is like, what do you need to see to like, okay, you're right. We need to change. Something needs to change.
We can get frustrated with ourselves and amongst each other, like this conversation that we're having now. We can do that, but publicly, we just got to. Okay, we're just gonna keep showing y'all, and we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. So it's gonna be unreal. Like the whole George Floyd, like, it got caught on camera, but it's been happening forever. So now, will it happen again? Sure, it's going to be another George Floyd soon. It happens. It's inevitable. It may have already happened. I haven't been paying attention to the news, but it's going to be another one. But the fact that more and more people are becoming aware of it, and small, like you said, incremental victories. Like, you got to change is incremental. So just keep going. You can't stop, or else you just everything that you worked for or are hoping for now rests in the laps of other people. I bet on myself more than I bet on anybody else. So I'm gonna keep going.
Well, I promise we wouldn't keep you long, man. I did want to slide one last question in there to you. So since your interview with ABC News, I think the New York Times and a couple other outlets and stuff, you've been speaking your mind, and I have really appreciated, and you said a lot of other officers have. Have you gotten any, maybe not directly to you, but from have you had any coworkers that you feel like are treating or looking at you a little differently from your speaking out?
Not that I'm aware of. I was somebody told me that they were talking to somebody and they was like, "Yo, why is he making this about race?" And
are you kidding me?
That was my response.
Wow.
But the officer who's telling me the story, he said that one, that is Dunn's story, and that's what he went through. 2, you know exactly where he is this second. Go ask him.
Oh.
but the person was like, no, it's cool. So yeah, but no, besides that one specific thing, nah, it's been another thing. I'll talk to anybody. As uncomfortable as a conversation can make, I don't care. I don't have that problem. Like, and I will have that conversation with anybody. I challenge anybody if they would like to come talk to me, man. I'm going to speak my truth. You tell me yours, and hopefully we can understand each other. So,
as long as they can avoid you, they don't have to hear the truth. I think people don't want to have that's what happens. People don't want to have those conversations because as long as I don't have to have this conversation,
that's why you bring it to their doorstep. That's why you bring it to their doorstep. Like the whole thing and I think, and this is the way I understood when people said Maxine Waters and made those comments, you see them, confront them, say it wasn't go punch them in the face. It was like, yo, you're doing this and it's wrong. Like people try, maybe she meant it in a different way. This is the way I interpret it, and people, then the defense of during the impeachment trial kept playing clips of Democratic people saying you need to fight. But the way I interpreted it was because you want to speak up, not violence fight. I didn't. You know what? And maybe some Democratic people did take it like that. I would bet to say that majority of them took it as like what we're doing now. This is fighting. What we're doing now. Me talking is fighting. You know. So
yeah, what happened in Georgia
was so
is fighting.
Out of context. Yeah, it was so out of like one of the clips they showed was Senator Klobuchar saying fight. She was talking about fighting for bipartisanship on a bill.
Yeah.
So it was like so out of context, man.
Yeah. But people believe that though. So
as your friend and your coworker, man, I just want to tell you, you know, saying, be careful. I got your back. You on that Eugene Goodman list. Like if I hear anybody talking greasy about him, I get in them, man. You know what I mean? So
appreciate it, man.
I haven't heard anyone speak on you yet, but if I do, I got you, man. But I did want to give the brothers one last opportunity just in case they had a question, and then we'll get you out of here.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, B.
Nah, man, I appreciate you coming on. My only question is, can you tell the people about what's going on behind you with all these hundreds of shoe boxes?
So, all right. So a lot of them is Under Armour and ASICs or whatever. I like comfortable shoes. Like I got a size 15. So when I see shoes that are nice and I'll get them. I want them. Get them to me. And also during COVID, they gave first responders discounts. You know, like ASICs at one point was giving 60% off. So I'm buying 10, 15 pairs of shoes. So I'm like, all right. So many of them I haven't even worn yet just because the price point was so good. Under Armour did 40% off for first responders and everything. So I took advantage. You know, maybe one or two back there I paid retail if it was a pair of Jordans that I liked or whatever. I grabbed them. But
Flex.
Yeah. No, you gotta get lucky. Yo, you gotta get lucky to get Jordans, man. It's tough. Like the apps and the sneak. If you ever did the sneak, man, that thing, the sneakers app, man, you take so many L's on that. Like, yo, who the heck wants
to
Go ahead.
We know all too well about that. Yeah.
Man, I tell you, man, like a pair of pink Jordans in a size 15. How are they sold out? How are they sold out, yo? Like, who wants these shoes? I tried to get them just to see if I could, and no, they sold out. Like, yo, man. So, but no, that ain't no. It's just, you know, I caught a good deal, and you know, I was bored, and we ain't nothing to do. So,
yeah, because you were trying to downplay it.
Line, man.
Hey, real quick, you mentioned your shoe size. Hey, you 6'7"?
Yeah, 6'7".
How much you weigh?
Probably about 355 right now. 355.
Right, so I asked you to bring that up because, you know, for those that don't know, they put metal detectors around the house chamber after the 6.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You say I'm sorry.
Ooh, no, not him.
Yeah.
Man,
where's the other guy? Where's that other
Officer Dunn?
Thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it, bro. Hope the listeners enjoy, man. And I'll see you at work probably.
All right, man, fellas. I appreciate y'all, man. Let's try to link once in person once it's safe to do so, man.
All right, we should be in DC one day soon.
All right, man. Y'all take care. I'll talk to you, fellas.
All right, man.
All right, man. Later.
So we're back. Enjoy the interview, Buff. Great guy. Ladies, and you got that right. Size 15 shoe with 6'7".
Yeah, 6'7".
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Threes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's very sizey. Yeah. As what's his name? To the max dude. Yeah. I can't remember his name now.
Big Jaw.
Big Jaw. Yeah. He said I'm sizey.
I didn't know Big Jaw was a bruz either.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But of course he is. You know. So we're back. So we've been away for a few weeks. So last episode was leading into Byron's birthday, and now that we're back, you know, I had my line brother on. I got to ask a question. Rise, you got to ask a question. I think it's only fair for the birthday boy who's still celebrating his birthday.
This is true. Yeah. I'm
give us something.
Okay, so real quick, man. So we interact on social media quite a bit because of our Three Brothers page, and it usually leads me to, you know, interacting with people on my personal page. And I see a lot of times women going back and forth with guys on subjects, like the whole Russell Wilson thing was, oh my God, I got so sick of it at one point. But that was popping and men and women were arguing back and forth. And it just got me to thinking, like the three of us have never had to really deal with this because Tabitha isn't a big social media person. I hardly ever see Sabrina on social media. Jen was kind of on there, but I never really saw her like arguing with people. But I just wanted to ask you two brothers, if you ever saw your significant other like really getting into it with specifically a guy, because if it's another girl, then you can handle your own. But she going back and forth with it, and it starts getting disrespectful. How are you jumping in protecting your queen? Are you simply telling her, look, just shut that page down? Or are you jumping in the comments, coming at old buddy? Like, if you had a significant other that was highly active on social media, getting into it with people all the time, is that something that you would jump in on, or would you just fall back and say, hey, she got it, I'm gonna let her handle it?
I mean, how wrong is she in this situation?
Why she gotta be wrong though?
I mean, if she in the right, I'm gonna come and save her. Like, if she in the wrong too, it's like, I don't know, baby.
Right, that it makes me think of Stout. Like, if you're gonna be stupid, you better be tough.
You're gonna be tough, right?
See, Roger, you always have. I remember the episode when I asked, "What would you do if a chick got hit by her man at a restaurant?" And you was like, did he hit her once, or is he like, what's up with you, dog?
Man, I don't live in like platitudes, man. It's not binary, and so there's gray in everything. And so when it comes down to it, man, like with that one, like if he hit her one time and walk away, like what am I jumping in for? Like at that point, it's done. So, but with this, it's kind of the same thing. It's like if she started it and she's escalating and everything, I might say something to her like, hey, maybe back off or whatever, but I'm not jumping in there and be like, Captain Save-A wife, I guess is what we at that point.
Captain Save-A wife.
Because it's social media, right? So like she has to be able to hold her own if she's gonna go down that path. But if it's something where she's just kind of voicing her opinion, she's trying to be disrespectful, and then old buddy gets disrespectful on calling her a something like that, then yeah, I'm gonna step in to make sure that he understands that, he ain't just talking to her, he's talking to me, and by disrespecting my wife, you're disrespecting me too.
But she called him,
so you need to back up. I mean, if he a nigga, I got no loyalty to him. So his lady need to come in and say something there if that's the case. But his lady probably know that he a nigga. But when it comes down to it, man, you gotta weigh the situation and know what's going on. Like at certain points, I may just say, hey, you're wrong, back up, cut the post off, delete it or whatever, delete the post, stop comment, something like that. If she's kind of in the wrong, and because I'm not going to scold her in front of everybody, but I'm not coming to her defense if she's completely wrong. But if she's in the right and dude just goes way left, then yeah, I'm gonna say something, and then I probably still will tell her, hey, we need to cut the comments off or whatever, because we're not gonna jump into that and everything. Just like Officer Dunn said, Harry was just like, after he did his interviews and stuff, they told him don't go to the comment section because folks are just gonna be there to troll and stuff like that, and some folks just enjoy that, man. So I mean, it's nuance to it, but for the most part, I'm probably gonna say no. That she can hold her on because it's social media. Now, if he was trying to step to her in person, where he had a chance to actually like put hands on her, he probably wouldn't be that bold if he was in person anyway. But if he was, then yes, definitely in person. Hey, bro, back up. You need to soften your tone. But it's social media, man, and it is what it is.
You know what? I like to think I'm a ride or die type dude, because we always talk about how we have ride or die women. But logic goes a long way with me, If you're absolutely wrong, now put it this way, I'm never going to let anybody disrespect or threaten my wife in a discussion. Like, it's just that. Like, you're not going to threaten her like, well, next time I see you, I'll see if you're talking. Nah, like, and then for one, dudes that talk tough to women aren't really dudes to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that we can debate, and I really try not to debate with women. I argue with 2 women in my life, really, and that's my mom and my wife, and I try not to argue with either one. But you know, we can have a friendly debate. It's social media. We can have fun. But when you get, like, I don't understand how some random guy can get this upset about something that another woman that does nothing for him says or makes a comment on. Like, it's just not that serious. So if she ever comes across that type dude, I'm going to try to help her remove herself from that situation. I will probably comment and just like, hey, bro, just relax. Now, this is a woman. Like, it's never that serious. I'll confront him more on what kind of dude does this. At this point, I don't care about the comments or what they're talking about or trying to argue her point. It's just, dude, why the hell are you arguing with a woman on? I can't think of a reason for me to get into a full-fledged argument disrespecting a woman on social media or in life, really, at that point, you know, unless she's disrespecting my kids or my family or something like that. There's not much, but I'm there. I'm there for her. I guess it's the same way I was brought up, you know, we'll be wrong together in public. Like you kind of said, Rozzy, but when we get behind the scenes, like, what? Like, yeah, I will correct and like, hey, you don't put yourself in those situations. Don't make these off the wall comments. But I think part of it is I would have never married a social media junkie. That's just not my type. Nothing wrong with it, but it's just not my forte. Not the type woman I'm attracted to. I
really think the chick that argues like that back and forth on dudes is the same chick that like gets into fights at clubs and stuff like that, like kicking her heels off, like going at the dudes and stuff. So dude knew what he was getting into when he had to like defend her. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, because we have friends that like to debate. Like I like people who are confident, like to debate, but like when you going off and like that's completely different. Like this, it's. When I don't get it.
When it evolves from debating the actual topic to just like personal insults and threats, then that's a whole different thing. I'm just gonna say that I don't really do social media beef, but I do enjoy it. I will look at it. Now, if 2 people beefing on social media, I'm
get the popcorn.
I'm going to both pages and reading all the back and forth, but I don't really get into it. So for me, it's very simple, man. Y'all pretty much answered the question. I agree with both of your answers. And for me, it's like if she were to argue with someone back and forth and it gets to the whole disrespect / threatening type of tone, then to me, there's no winning an argument with someone that you're probably never going to see. And if they know you're never going to see them, even if they know you can whoop their if they know they're never going to see you, they're not going to back down. They're going to keep talking. So you're not going to win that argument. And then if it is somebody that I know I'm going to see, we don't need to go back and forth either. It's just like, hey, you going to be at work tomorrow? All right, bet. And that's it. But other than that, there's no reason to go back and forth because you're not going to win that argument. So for me, you know, I would like first say, tell her, turn the comments off, shut the post down, this, that, and other. And if she is making an argument that I had already disagreed with her on, then I might slide in and see. Told you. But other than that,
so you instigate? Oh, you gonna instigate on the page?
I was just saying, she should have listened.
Are you gonna? I'm here for the comments gift.
Because she and I, we disagree quite a bit on a lot of social issues and things at times. So, but like I say, she's not a social media person. So,
and it's a difference in disagreeing and somebody just flat out just disrespecting.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, it just never gets there. And because there's times where I'll see a comment and I want to comment and I'm just like, why am I even commenting to this person? Like,
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it depends if I got time.
Oh, sometimes I got time for it. I started one today on Melvin's page.
if people post like just crazy stuff, and we all have those friends that post crazy stuff, I may look at it and be like, this motherfucker's just trying to troll again. Or I may say, you know what? I got time today. Let me let him know why he's wrong.
Yeah. Let's sprinkle a little facts into your conjecture.
I think I started my argument with this dude. I was like, you know what? I'll play today. Like, let's do this.
I think I remember that.
Because he was talking about the whole Jeremy Lin, he's a Asian football
Asian-American,
basketball player. Has been in the league for 9 years, and he made a post about racism and what he experiences. And there was somebody on this page who basically was just like, well, we're so entitled, like racists have their rights to be, pretty much like they have the right to be racist. Like we keep saying that everybody deserves this and everybody deserves that. And he just kept making dumb comments like, well, racism isn't illegal. And I was about to go in this whole, like, let's not talk about what's been legal in this country, that because people saw fit that they had to make changes, like slavery wasn't illegal. And so, so when you throw in those arguments, what's legal, let's not go down that bad. But when he just talked about people having the right to be racist, I'm like, so you're defending the right to be racist.
Yeah. And plus, most aspects of racism is illegal. Like when it comes to discriminating and stuff in a business or job, it is illegal. So
because I was about to go around systematic racism. Is different from racial slur, but like you're defending racism. Like people have the right to be racist. I'm like, dude, what right do the victims of racism have? But then it was just, then he made some, are we talking about racism or COVID or some dumb comment? And I was like, he's not intelligent. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
I don't even think I responded.
He just wants to be counter. So, but what I will tell you sometimes that I do with those folks that just kind of post that random crap is I will defend folks, or especially ladies, who may not be on the post or not be privy to the post. We got a friend that, puts all the business in the street about, the kids and the divorce and all this and that. And everything is one-sided. And so, what's the other side? I want to hear her side. Like, let's be serious about this because, with me and Allison, we were going through with Haley and trying to, figure out how we were going to raise her and be in her life and co-parent her. I had my side, she had her side, and the truth was somewhere in the middle. So if you were just listening to me or you were just listening to her, you probably weren't going to get a holistic picture of what was going on in that situation. And so, that's a lot of times what I will do is walk them back and make sure that they understand that that's your side of the story. There is another side, and you're probably maybe 20% right in a lot of it.
Rozzy, you're just being a beta male, and don't you know that the standards of fatherhood on social media are extremely low? As long as a guy takes a picture with his kids, that means he's a good dad. So
I'm so tired of that.
So how dare you say you need to hear her side? Him taking a picture with his kids is enough for you, isn't it? Beta male.
Yeah.
If he posts
and I hate that because most people don't even understand what that is. Like, being an alpha male doesn't mean being an asshole. Like, you can be an alpha male and still be emotionally intelligent. Like, those are not, mutually exclusive. So, like, miss me, but them not understanding what alpha male means. Alpha male means that you do take the lead, and yes, you're comfortable leading and being out front, but that doesn't mean that you don't listen to other people. That doesn't mean that you don't respect other people. That doesn't mean that you can't get some consensus going. You don't have to be a lone wolf to be an alpha. The whole point of being an alpha is you have a pack that's there that you're taking care of. I think most people end up being lone wolves calling themselves alphas.
Okay, fellas. I don't even want to get, we might have to revisit that.
Yeah, we can.
Man, it's been a good episode. You guys got anything else for us before we get out of here?
I want to touch on something Harry Dunn said. He mentioned during our interview with him that he can't just see something that's wrong and not say or do something about it. And I just kind of want to talk to white people for a split second because the young man, Latrell Taft in Oklahoma, went to school. He wore a birthday shirt that said Black King on it. And his teacher said that was racist. and said that, if she wore a white queen shirt, that it would be racist, and that white people need a white history month. We just saw thousands of, you might as well say 99.9% white people storm the U.S. Capitol wearing swastika paraphernalia, the Confederate flag. Dunn mentioned how he was called nigger several times by multiple people. So they were genuinely racist. And I'm hearing a very little amount of people call them racist. I'm saying all that to say that you need to start calling it out more, white people. And when you look at a young man that's wearing a shirt that says Black King, that's not racist. We spend the entire school year learning about nothing but white history, and you have the nerve to say that you need a white history month. The entire 365 days of the year is white history month. Like, all we learn about is your history. And you can't even say just American history. We learn about British history in school and all that stuff. We don't learn anything about different histories in Africa, anything like that. So
it's so funny. World history is European history.
Yes. So, you know what I mean? So
I remember that.
It's just unfortunate. It just brings me to my larger point that when you look at how many law enforcement personnel were a part of that crowd that stormed the Capitol, when you look at this teacher and many other teachers like her that think this way, we need a top to bottom just reevaluation of our law enforcement agencies in this country and the people that are teaching our kids. Because these are only the people that we're catching on camera. Imagine how many thousands and thousands more feel, think, and act just like they do. So we need your help, white people. Call it out when you see it. It can't just be us. Like, final point, we kept talking about when the Colin Kaepernick thing was going on, all the media was doing was asking black players, are you going to do it? Are you going to do something? Are you going to say something? Why don't you ask the white players? Unless they're okay with what's going on in this country. And if you're not, then it shouldn't be a black thing to speak out about it. It should be an American thing to speak out against racism.
Yes. And it's so funny, man. That's one of the main reasons why I decided to go ahead and join the board of that charter school. Shout out to Legacy Prep here in Birmingham, Alabama. I joined that board because of that need that you're talking about, to make sure that our black kings and our black queens can grow up in an environment that's very, very conducive to them. Being able to become alphas, to become successful, to know their history, to learn their history 365 days a year, instead of Black History Month roll around and you read about President Lincoln for a week and a half of it. And so, like my kids did over here in Hoover City Schools, kind of make me mad a little bit. So anybody incorporate, that's dealing with Hoover City Schools, I don't know if you kind of felt that same way, but when they, I understood one time, 1 week we're going to talk about Lincoln freeing the slaves, yay. But then when I saw the next week and they were still working on stuff with Lincoln, I'm like, yo, I need some Black excellence showing up in this month, not just Black. And it's weird. Legacy Prep actually named it Black Excellence Month instead of Black History Month. So that was kind of a really cool kind of, just idea that it's not necessarily all about history. They're still talking about Black excellence that's happening today. So shout out to Legacy Prep. Love that school. But real quick, I wanted to just throw in there. I was having a debate with a friend of mine, and which one is better, ATL-based music or Miami-based music? I know Buff's about to head to Miami for his birthday. So, which one you got?
Yeah. So if it's Tuesday or later and you listen to this show, I'm sitting in Miami, but I got to pick against Miami. And to me, there's no wrong answer because they both were pretty damn lit. But I associate Atlanta-based music with more of my early high school days, late middle school days. So it just kind of resonates with me a little more.
Am I missing something? Get me what? Shorty Swing My Way.
Hey, I mean, the Atlanta-based music was kind of like the baby fat era, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shawty swing my Daisy Dukes. What is it? The dip. Shawty freak a little song.
Hey,
like that was Atlanta-based music. Like my boo, everybody loves my boo still to this day.
I don't like that song.
What is wrong with you?
You was a hater.
What is wrong with you?
I don't like that song. Maybe it got overplayed, but
who cares?
I don't like stuff that gets overplayed. So my thought process is Miami-based music, hands down, no question that. As a Lifetime Achievement Award winner for Teen Jams, that was my era, bro.
Whoop That Is, Donkey Butt, all those, like, I get it. Two Live Crew.
Bro, I'm just saying, bro, you know, Uncle Al, all that, bro,
I mean, it's cool. I like Atlanta-based music better. But like Buff said, I think it was because we were a little older when it was really hidden versus I think if we had been older when Miami first came out, then it would have been, you know, we would have been leaning more towards that one.
Man, I saw Byron at Teen Jams dancing.
Byron was dancing, dancing
with some Umbro shorts on.
Yes.
And Spring Hill,
some nylon sweats
or Nike sweats. Yeah.
Walking around like
and a jersey.
I saw you were a Spring Hill record, weren't you?
Spring Hill Rec. I went to the Texas Street Rec.
Yeah.
And I might have Garger Street Rec was like the pinnacle of
That was my whole thing, bro. You know, so I would travel to go see, you know,
headquarters, yo.
Yeah, that was headquarters. I went to Texas Street a couple of times. I was at Spring Hill a couple of times, but nothing beat Gargis Park, bro. That was it. That dollar to get in.
Don't forget, Plateau used to go hard.
I didn't around with Plateau, bro.
Why you saying like that,
bro? There's a couple places
when they hit Plateau.
I was a couple places in Mobile I didn't mess with. Plateau was one of them. Happy Hill was the other.
Plateau was the bottom, though. I ain't gonna lie. I loved it, man. That was every weekend for me. All me and my cousins.
I didn't even know they had freaking.
Because you gotta think, Plateau was the newest one. Plateau was the newest rec, and then they rebuilt Gargis, right?
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
So that's
I went everywhere.
Like, Plateau was like brand new.
I went to Trinity. They had one in Trinity Gardens. I went out there before. You know, I was
but
I didn't mess around. I didn't mess around.
Texas Street. I used to hit Texas Street most of the time too, though.
Texas Street was a good one. Texas Street was a good one.
because it was so big. That was the thing. It was real big.
Yeah,
so anyway, we can go down this road, but I just wanted real quick to get that out there.
I'm so ashamed of you guys. Parting shots, fellas. What do you have for us?
Well, that pretty much was my parting shot. So
this is up. What do you?
Yeah, I got nothing else, man. Just listeners, thank y'all. I know we took that hiatus, that 1 week off. We try to drop every Monday because you know, I know you guys wait with bated breath to hear us, but you know, with everything that's going on with Ferg and everything, even this week, you know, it's Sunday and we're gonna be dropping tomorrow, so we're gonna make it happen for y'all. We appreciate y'all riding with us, even on the short hiatuses and interruptions that we have, but we appreciate everything y'all do for us, man. Keep listening, keep liking, keep commenting. I'll let Ferg, I don't want to steal his thunder, but just keep rocking with us. I
should have went first then because my thunder's not much, but I'm excited about Avatar Studios coming out. That Sky and I are extremely excited. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen, what we're going to do. Movies, TV shows, it's about to go down. So Avatar Studios, but appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys being patient with me, bro. Like I said, we planned on doing a show last week and it just didn't come together. I was just too drained, too much going on. So, all right. Well, this is Three Brothers No Sense. You know, apparently my co-hosts still don't know the rules of podcast. So listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. See you next week.